All right, what's going on, Giants fans, and welcome to the Week 12 offensive line report. Giants victory over the Patriots. I'm going to do a few segments. I haven't really talked about Ben Bredeson at all this year. He's kind of just had a baseline of the player that he is, and he's moved all around in different spots, and I think it's been hard on him. But once he gets settled in a spot, like his second or third game, like similar to playing center, he fits right in. We're going to talk about Thomas. He gave up a sack, maybe even two. We'll talk about that. But I want to start with John Michael Schmitz because I thought this was his best pass protection game. You had the good reps that you see on a weekly basis, essentially outside of last week, but also didn't have the negative plays that he has had basically every game but the Cardinals. So let's get into it. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. So first play, obviously JMS at center. We're going to see great pass protection on this pass to Hyatt. So we are snap, quick with our hands, right? We're landing our hands. First step, hands and feet working together. Not step and then hands, all in one motion. Bam! Hands inside, and you see some power in them, right? Watch the defensive lineman's shoulders pads pop up. Bam! Right? Pads pop up. Now defensive lineman's going to go work to get those hands off him. Watch that left hand. Go and replace. Get in his hip. Have this hand high. Keep your feet moving. Right? Hop. Bam. Good play. Next play. Again, you're going to see just good quickness, getting off the snap quick, getting hands on guys, being aggressive with our pass protection. Everything working together, right? Step, hands, put that right hand high, left hand low in the hip. Good leverage, nice base. Feet shoulder width apart. Watch the feet work this hop step because this guy's going to try and work power. Bam. Able to anchor. He wants to move back this way. We're here with our feet. Good stuff, right? Just killing the will of the defensive lineman from the beginning of the snap. Next play. Again, we're getting off the snap quick. We're getting hands on him. Right? And he's going to counter back to your left side. He's going to try and counter back. So we get our feet moving. We get this hand ready to punch, replace it while keeping that right hand on with a good grip strength. Get that left hand in his hip. I really like that rep, even though, again, the ball's getting out quick. It's not the most special play in the world, but I just really like seeing this stuff out of him, right? Just consistency. And again, this is what I thought was coming off of his worst game in the NFL so far versus the Commanders. Have a good bounce back. Again, watch. Feet and hands, all one motion. I mean, by the time our first step is landing, our hands are there. Our hands are in his chest. Our punch is in his chest before our second step even hits the ground. We've got good leverage. We're keeping our feet moving. We're not losing our base, our balance. Good grip strength. Just good center play. Next, you're going to work on the slide, help Pugh, right? They're trying to create one-on-ones. They line up with wide 4-eye, wide 7, wide 9. So we're going to slide, right? And we talked about last week, right? You got to get aggressive in these slides because they're usually going to be slanting in on this stuff. You got to get aggressive on these slides. We do. We get to Pugh's hip. He works inside. We're here. We absorb it. Look, we're not giving up any ground. He's getting momentum. He's working again from a 4-eye in. And we're not giving up an inch. Nice base, keep the feet. Walk back on it. Good leverage, good hands. Just killing the will of this rusher. DeVito's having to escape. Here on this stunt, again, good start on the rep, helping Bredeson out. Again, I mean, look when the punch is landing. First step down. Landing with that second step coming off. Again, it's even a little high, but you're able to land it on him, keep your hands off of you. Right? Don't give up ground, which allows Bredeson to come and take this from you, right? If you give up ground, then Bredeson's trying to save this, and okay, you're going to have to stay on this, and you're going to have a free rusher, right? But you don't give up ground, bam, Bredeson's able to come over, you're able to stay on it longer, peel off, and pick up the blitzing linebacker. Thomas actually gives up a sack, which, again, we're going to talk about in this. So, again, I wanted to focus on pass protection in this game just because I thought it was his most consistent game. And there's still, like, stuff to grow from, and especially when you play better competition. But, I don't know if Kenny Clark is going to be playing for the Packers in a couple weeks. That'll be a good test for him. But I thought he played really, really well in this game. And, again, to me, was his most consistent game in pass protection outside of maybe the Cardinals week 2. And I thought it was needed. I don't care who the competition is when you consider that he's coming off, to me, his worst game, especially in pass protection as a pro in the NFL. All right, with Ben Bredeson, again, we haven't put a ton of attention on him this season because he started at left and had to move to center, and now he's at right guard. And it's just kind of tough to, look at this guy who's become a utility player and move at all these different positions. But I thought this game, I think this is his third start at right guard now that Pugh's been kind of settled in at left guard. Was really good in the run game. Had some good moments as a zone blocker and run. And pass protection, it was solid. Not as good as we've seen him be in the past, especially last year at left guard, but not bad either. So this could be his permanent position going forward. I mean, he played right guard a little bit at and Baltimore. Was left and Michigan, and was best at left guard in the NFL so far. But this could be his permanent position going forward, and he's a free agent. So we got to kind of see him play at this spot. So also, there is some notion that Mark Lewinsky should start over him. I disagree 100%. Let's get into it. We're going to start with the run game. I thought there was some awesome plays in the run game by Bredeson in the zone, right? And that's what you want to run with Saquon Barkley, is zone running. So we start with the bucket step, right? That step backwards at a 45-degree angle. And we get hands on the defensive lineman, and we are working. We are working to get to that outside hip, right? And this isn't great, but it's not bad. You're not being disengaged. But what I like is that, hey, at this point, you're trying to pin him out. And when Saquon cuts off of your block, and this defensive lineman tries to redirect his weight, bury his ass. Whenever defensive linemen redirect their weight trying to get it back or change direction, bury their ass. Put their ass in the ground and walk over them. I love that energy. JMS does a good job on this too, right? Like, we're trying to work outside. They're flowing with it. You see, as soon as this defensive lineman tries to redirect, bam, get in his hip and bury him. Next play. Again, just good football IQ. This isn't some amazing block. This is just good football IQ. When you're running these mid zones, right? And you see the defensive lineman off rip, sees the zone, and starts flowing, right? So it's going to be hard for this guy to get his helmet outside of his helmet and cross his face, right? It's just going to be hard to do that. So what you do is you still work to try and do that. But you kind of have a timer in your head where it's 1, 2. All right, fine. I'm not crossing his face. Get in his hip and pin him out and give your back a lane to cut up off inside of you. And that's exactly what Bredeson does. So just good football IQ, right? JMS, making sure this defensive lineman doesn't jump back inside, get to the linebacker, get a piece of him. Saquon make his magic work. Next play. Here we are going to cross face and flip hips, right? Defensive lineman doesn't flow with this one. Defensive lineman jumps into this gap, right? He's just head up, head up 4. So he takes this gap. Good first step by Bredeson. Get contact and block through him, right? Block through him and then flip those hips. Flip those hips and seal them off. Bam. That's where your back's going to go now. That's where your back's going to go for a nice gain. Good job by JMS on that too. And then this isn't some amazing block, right? But we saw last week where JMS got in trouble from Pugh and from Bredeson is when these defensive linemen jump gaps, right? They throw these run blitzes at you, and it works anyways, right? Because they have, I really liked what Bill did with this, having the safety not playing necessarily in the box, but coming and filling this outside gap, and it allows your linebacker to play a little more free, and then it allows a free rusher out here, obviously, to fill in the run game. But anyways, the point I'm making is we're zone blocking, right? We're zone blocking, and this defensive lineman is going again from this head up 4 or 4-eye and jumping into this gap, right? Jumping into this gap. And last week, this guy got essentially unblocked because JMS wasn't able to get to across his face and get to his shoulder, and this guy would blow up the play. This is a good job by playing in control by Bredeson to, again, you want to get out here and go on this, right? But to stay collected, flip your hips, use your hands, and get a piece of him, right? And that's what matters. Now, again, it's not a good run because of Phillips misses his target on the linebacker, and then you have Duggar filling from the out from deep. But still, a good job by Bredeson compared to last week where you had some of those issues. Pass protection, again, solid. Not an amazing day for Bredeson, but solid. Not bad, right? We set. We throw a two-handed punch. Good placement with it. Throw the punch. Replace your hands. Keep your feet moving, mirroring. See that right hand is high. Bring it back down low. Ball comes out quick on this play. But still, this is a good rep by Bredeson, right? Let's see it all in one motion. Strike, replace that right hand. Good stuff. Next play. Again, using that two-handed strike. Hands hit high. Trying to slide him back down. You get a piece of him. Good stunt pickup with JMS. We looked at this earlier. Good job. This next play. And he's wide. We don't want to overset, but we are we're on an island here on this, right? We're on an island because we got a 3-man slide to the left on this, right? Because of this safety's alignment. So you're on an island here. Bellinger's is helping on this. Breida is scanning the backer and going out into the route. Right? So you got to get out here and move. So don't overset. Right? Patience. Okay, he works back inside. Bring that left foot back down. Keep your feet moving. Get hands on him. Again, nice wide base. Good stuff. Next play against the blitzing backer. I mean, this is just good blitz pickup and dominating the rep too. Right? This is a weird look. You don't know who's coming on this, right? And you're only in a 5-man protection, right? Because the back and the tight end are going out into the route, into the passing game immediately, right? They're not touching anybody. Right? So you got to pick this up versus this mugged up look. So you run a 4-man slide. But again, you realize you don't got help from the back. You don't got help from the tight end. So you've got a 4-man slide to the left, right? But he hits your right side. Good job picking it up. Allows JMS to come and pick this up. Get hands on him. Keep your feet good. Keep your feet moving. He wants to spin inside. Play the piano on his back. Again, keep your feet moving. DeVito's able to scramble. He throws it away. So again, solid game from Bredeson, and this is kind of what I've come to know for Bredeson is solid performance, not great performance, not horrible performance. And I've said it before. I don't know how much we'll talk about Bredeson on these O-line reports going forward. I actually think he's one of the most important players to re-sign on this team. Even if not as a starter, he is one of the most important players to re-sign on this team to at least keep offensive line depth. And he is not talked about much, and that's a good thing. And a bad thing because he's not spectacular, but Bredeson is definitely one of the most important guys to bring back for this Giants team. All right, we'll finish off with Andrew Thomas, who, again, didn't have like a bad game, but for his standard, which is basically perfect, it was not perfect, right? Gave up one like true sack. The second one was a little iffy because I think the ball absolutely should have been out. But again, it does get a credit to him if it gets credit for anybody in the offensive line. So we'll go through it. First play. Some good stuff, right? Obviously lined up here, left tackle. Right, locking down. Quick feet. Now, it doesn't look as quick with the MCL sprain that he's dealing with. You see the brace on his left knee. But he's got hands on him, got those long arms. You see as, this defensive end works to break those arms off him. See? The hand get up, dramatic, replace it. Good. Next play. Just locked down on Keon White. Now, Bredeson gets in the way. Now, but again, these hands are wide. Outside, like you don't want your hand placement there, but you, again, slides them down, keeps the feet moving quick. Replacing hands, good. Go out and help. Now here is the deep pass to Jalen Hyatt. Right, and this isn't a horrible rep, but it's not an amazing rep either. Right, we got this double mug up look, so we put up the Bellinger and Saquon up here. Right, so we are trying to hey, we want to protect the inside versus this. So we do work our circle technique, right? To get that punch. But with that punch, 91 does a good job of ripping through. Right? Ripping through and opening that shoulder of Thomas, right? And if DeVito sits, right, doesn't step up in this is a sack, right? And that's a sack that is a credit to Thomas. Now, good on DeVito stepping up. And the interior blocking. But this could have been a sack. I thought this was his second worst rep of the game. Outside of this sack that you're going to see right here. This is a sack for Keon White. Right? So, hey, we're dealing wide nine. Right? We got to get out there. But that getting out there leaves you vulnerable inside, right? So we got our third step. We're in a good spot right here. And Keon White shows this inside move and throws a little hezzy at him, and it messes with Thomas, right? So that that inside slant from Keon White, watch Thomas. He steps down with his right foot, which, hey, you got to do. But with that, he punches wide, lunges, and it allows Keon White to attack that arm, which again, that punch, which again, Thomas does not let happen. Attack that punch. And now he's got an angle to get to the quarterback, and he absolutely does, right? You see how he's working inside. Thomas shows inside punch, outside sack. And then this other sack. Now, this one I don't lose much sleep over because, hey, Tommy DeVito, why don't we throw this ball right here? How about we do that? This is good. But it allows a second effort on the interior, on his inside. Right, we got good hand placement right here, right? We got our left hand ready to punch. But he gets that punch on you. You're not able to break it off, right? Long arm defender, I guess. Not able to break it off. Not pushing off this left foot to really close this down. And maybe that's part of the MCL sprain. We'll see. It's all speculative at this point. To not be able to push off of this and shut this down. Instead, 33 is getting a second effort sack on, redirecting inside. So, certainly not a bad game from Andrew Thomas. There's actually a lot of good stuff in the run game. I know we didn't highlight much, but it was just a lot of him showing off his athleticism in zone, which is good to see because he didn't look as good last week coming off the injury versus the Cowboys. So hopefully he's getting healthier or is even close to semi-healthy, but it is what it is at this point. So appreciate you guys watching. We'll be back not next week. We got a week off from the offensive line report. So we'll have some other content coming out. Check out the podcast. We're going to have Jordan Renano talk about this Dabo Wink situation. Appreciate you. Let's go Big Blue.